Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to SRW TV. Tonight it's round 6 of our American invasion for the V8 Radical Series. It's Cal, your average sim racer here, together with Chef Toddy on comms, and Nathan Shibby Howard behind the scenes looking after the cameras on tonight's action. So it's been a 500-mile journey that has seen the cars and the crews crest the hill of the championship to arrive here at Road Atlanta, and it's a series of long-haul trips facing the teams for the next few rounds as they head west across the heart of America. But tonight, it's the home of the Petite Le Mans.
It's going to be fun, it's going to be cool.
Well, Toddy, if they made a roller coaster for race cars, I think this would be it.
Oh, 100%. I love that. That's such a cool quote. Very, very cool. It is so much like a roller coaster. How much undulating, and especially through the little chicane there, especially turn 6, especially when you even turn 1 and turn 2, you know, that big sweepy right-hander, you know, you're coming fast into a left-hander, and then, you know, it just goes on and on and on. You know, you got, then further on, you got that big right-hander and then snap left-hander. That's just insane. It just never ends on this track. So it's going to be very.
My notes sort of talk about it being almost serpentine. You know, it's like a snake making its way through the ground, or through the grass. So
that's a cool way of saying it. Actually, that's a really cool way of thinking about it. It is very, very cool. How do you think these cars are going to go around here?
Well, I was
saying earlier that
talking to the boys. Was it Shibby saying he's done some practice laps and stay off the curbs is the order of the day. These things don't like getting bounced around. I know I drove the V8s here last week, and that was all about riding the curbs where you could.
Yeah,
see, Matthew Jones is going on the inside Dave there on a hot lap, so probably getting a benefit of a tow there as well, because we've seen in many of the rounds here that these cars really do benefit from the tow and the draft, and it seems to, you know, even for a little car, they punch a big hole in the air, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Most definitely they do. They're very low to the ground. Very crazy fast for this little, very light 700 kilogram with driver and all full liquids in also. So, you go, a
little bit of grass there for Matty pushing the limits. I'll have to see if that. I think it's fairly generous around here on the off tracks. So, you know, again, I mean, the V8s you tend to climb over quite a few of those curves. These things are really low to the ground, so you know what little aero package they have would be greatly disrupted when the car starts bouncing.
And that front splitter, as you can see on screen right now with Tyson McAvoy, he's got a bit of front splitter damage there, so he's coming into the pits to get that fixed. But look at that, and you can see that front splitter.
See that tricky pit entry he's there where he got it a bit sideways trying to pull it up. Well, I think it is a critical factor of, you know, doing well tonight. I think he's getting that pit entry right. It's probably going to only be a one-stopper for these guys. They generally don't change for tyres, but it is a very treacherous pit entry, so you can run just a bit too hot through there and bounce off walls and use up that fast repair. Or suffer the consequences if you've already used it up.
Yeah, and it would be tragic, wouldn't it? If you remain with a nice clean nose throughout the whole race, and then you get into the pits just to top up some fuel and you slap it into the wall, you're going to very, very much be kicking yourself a bit.
Look, you know, like anything, I mean, I've done it a few times so far. You know, I think I've picked up a penalty just about every race I've been in at the moment, so it's a bit embarrassing. But, yeah, look, I think the quality of the fields here at SRW means that these guys are pushing hard. We've seen it week after week in the F3s and the Radicals, that they can be quite a tricky car, and you get on the gas that little bit too early or that little bit too hard, and they spin around. Now, again, I don't think it's necessarily that they're a really difficult car to drive. I think it's more that the drivers realise that they want to be fast and be somewhere near the pointy end of these races. You've got to push the limits.
Most definitely. And these guys already, not even 12 minutes in, and Scotty Callahan's already almost breaking the 1:15 minute mark. So 1 minute 15 mark. So hopefully we'll see that being broken once these guys run down a bit of fuel at the pointy end of qualifying here.
Have to see if there's a world record for Road Atlanta in these cars. I wouldn't be surprised to see that there is one.
So the road,
it's huge apparently.
Yeah, the world record for in race is a 14.4, and so that's the first in race. And what was the one in qualifying? 14.9, no, 14.7. Yeah, 14.7. It was the fastest.
14.4 is the benchmark.
Yeah, but that's in race. The qualifying pace for world record is 14.7. So we'll see what these guys can do. So obviously, it's definitely telling us that the draft is very, very strong.
How he throws that car in there. In the V8, you're dancing on the throttle through there, and the car's thickened. No wonder it's about 5 seconds a lap quicker than the V8.
Wow, that's motoring, isn't it? You can get it around here. I suppose you don't. Yeah, you're keeping off the curbs and you're keeping on that smooth part of the ground, whereas with the V8s, you have to ride the curves quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh, the V8, you got to brake earlier, you got to brake harder. You can't carry as much speed through the corners. You got limited aero. The only thing they've got is top speed, so that's where they gain a bit of ground back on these radicals down the back straight. But you can see how nimble this thing is, as Scotty Callahan just throwing it through the S's there, and look at it, confidence going deep. I think that was consciously stayed sort of away from that apex and the raised curving there.
Yeah, do you think we'll see any safety cars tonight?
Oh, look, I think so. I think we've set a bit of a precedent in the last few rounds. The F3 sort of almost uncapped that safety car bottle, and now we've seen safety cars across quite a few of the races. Though Super 2s on Sunday was the first race I'd been in where there wasn't a safety car. I was sort of counting on one for my fuel strategy. No, I wasn't counting on it. Oh, no.
Oh, that's the potential we were just talking about.
That's how tricky it is.
Wow, because there is that strip of grass there as well, and if you just get a little bit of wheel off there, yeah, you do. You just go straight ahead into that tyre barrier.
Oh, you should be getting out of the road there. Timothy probably should have got out of Dean's Road there, but maybe he's trying to get a hot lap in himself.
Yeah, and Timothy with a new looking livery on that radical by the look of it, locked on lads.
Okay.
He's still got the same locked on lads colours and everything, but it's got flames and stuff on it now. So yeah,
a
different one.
Bit of fire to add a bit of pace, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. You say red is the fastest colour.
Exactly right.
Oh, we've got a couple of comments on the YouTube. Is that John? Good evening from the Younger Fan Club. Yeah, great to have you boys with us.
Much love, legends.
And Scotty Rankin, saying that this is one of those track combos, car and track combos that likely has a fairly good world record because it's a roller coaster, and I can't think of a car that'd be suited better to a tarmac roller coaster than a radical.
Oh yeah, true.
All right, so we are about 15 minutes through qualifying, but just under 10 minutes to go now. So far it is Scott Callahan holding down provisional pole position with a 1:15.10. Matty Jones 2/10 behind him with a 15.3. Good to see both of those boys back. They were back last week. Scotty had a bit of a moment there in a racing incident with Tyson McAvoy, I think it was, that ended up ending his race, I believe, because he got caught up at the mess at start with Dave Unger's big slip into Nathan Burney. It was action-packed at Daytona last week.
Oh,
hopefully
amazing,
we don't.
Wasn't it? It was nuts.
Hopefully we don't get that sort of craziness, but I must admit it has been a crazy couple of weeks for SRW with some rather interesting incidents that I'm sure are going to make the highlight reels, so we'll get to see them all again.
Oh, most definitely. I've seen, and I did have a big hunger for some carnage over the last couple of weeks, but I don't have as much hunger for carnage this week, so it's kind of. I'm predicting no more than 2 safety cars tonight, guys. That's my predictions.
See,
big call, I know.
Steve Brown here, he has done a 1:15.5 so far, sitting in P3. And you can just see how committed he is in throwing that car through. But as we said before, it's a car that you've got to trust to get the pace out of it.
You do, but don't trust it too much. Never trust it too much.
Over-trust it, but I've told you many, many times now that as far as I'm concerned, grip is a clip. And it's all about finding where the edge is without going over it.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Just staying on the limit of it. Whoa.
Pushing hard. And I'd say, those boys are doing 15s. It is pretty warm out there on track, 37 degrees. So you think about the world records that Scotty Callahan and Matty Jones have given us earlier in this season. They were doing hot tracks as well. I think, Scotty, you're right. This is more likely going to be one that the record's been pushed a little, and probably these guys might struggle to get down into those 14s, given the track temperature.
Yeah, I predict maybe Scotty might be able to get a 14.9 in quali, but 14.7, getting below a 14.7 in quali time, that's pretty crazy quick. Might not be.
Look, to be honest, I haven't done any laps around here in the Radicals. I did drive them last season. I haven't done a lot of driving them of late. I could see Dave pushing hard there and really trying to get the rear to stick, and it just shook its booty, and he survived. So good bit of driving there.
He did definitely dealt with that snap oversteer very, very well. You can definitely see his experience coming out right there.
Well, he is running in P4 at the moment, 1/100th of a second behind Steve Brown at the moment.
These guys are always really close together.
Well, that is close. Nathan Burney is about a half a second behind David and Steve at this point. Tim Harris has been matching Nathan as well there, doing 16.1s have been their best time. Tyson McAvoy a 10th back in, is that P9?
Yep.
P7. P7 is a further 10th back there. So two of the performance sim racing machines up in the top 7. Dean Sinkovic for Team SRW running Team P8. But Tim Harris, he's looking pretty good. P6 at the moment, starting to find his feet in the Radicals here.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good weeks. He's had been showing some good pace and some improvement. So he's doing very well, and that's the new planes we can see on his locked on delivery there. Pretty cool. They've always got some really cool combination of black, pink, and neon blue, which is pretty cool.
Now that does bring to one of the situations where these guys will be trying to keep it out of the walls in this qualifying, because it's a fixed series. So if you've got to reset, you'll be back on the, half the fuel tank. Whereas the guys that have managed to keep it out of the wall, get it down, they'll come in, grab the fresh rubber with 5 or 6 minutes to go out, do 2 out laps, and then try and do their hot lap.
I see, and that's what these guys up the front will be trying to do, so then they can break that 1:15 mark, right?
Well, you could see Dean there was just trying to get some heat in the tyres there, so he's ready to try and do a flyer here. So we'll have to see if those tyres have got enough up as he throws it down into T1. It's all about turning down into the apex and getting on the gas almost as you hit it. You can see there, just maybe a bit shallow on the turn in there, Dean, but it did mean the car slid wide. Now, if you can get the gas on at the right time, the car just sticks and the camber of the road assists you. You can just drive straight up and out of that hill.
So, I haven't done a lot of laps around here, so I've done a few laps around here in the GT4 and stuff like that, and they've got plenty of traction control and all that sort of things. Not that I use a hell of a lot of it, but if it's there, you're gonna use it. But they do have the ABS and stuff like that as well. So even then, even then in the GT4, it's not an easy track to go around. So I definitely feel for these guys, and it definitely shows these guys' skill and how much pace, like everybody in this new season it has.
Well, it is a roller coaster of a track. It's home to the American Le Mans Series event, the Petite Le Mans. That's a 1,000-mile sports car race that generally follows the rules of the 24-hour Le Mans. I know our fellow commentator Dano is quite proud of the fact that he won the Petite Le Mans, one of the iRacing special events. So well done.
Pretty
I think he still
amazing
talks
going.
about that. It was a couple of years ago. So, you know, must have really enjoyed that. But, oh, look, you know, I think it's those great battles that you have out on track and that you remember the most. And, you know, when you've got to fight hard for a victory, you know, that makes it even the more sweeter.
Yeah, and bragging rights are bragging rights, right?
That's it. Well, at the moment, we are on board with Matty Jones here, trying to see if he can chase down Scotty Callahan, who still has not been able to better his 15-1. So, Matty Jones, we have about 2.5 minutes left, so he might get us another lap in after this one. You can see how much road he was using there, and just trying to flick it in through to the top of the S's, and you can see how committed these guys are now. So those times that they've got on the board are pretty hot, and now they're making mistakes just trying to chase another 10th here, another half a 10th there.
Yeah, pushing that braking point a little bit more, and as you can see, doesn't always end that well on your exits sometimes. But Steven Sinkovich has done a better time. He's got a green sector at least down the bottom there, so he might be starting to get this car underneath him. But Steven's been away, hasn't he? So.
Yeah, Stephen and Greg are still in the 17s. I think we've got Dean Sinkovich and up, so Tyson, Tim and Nathan are all in the 16s for their qualifying time. And then Dave Ungar, Steve Brown, Matty Jones and Scott Callahan are all in the 15s, and they're about half a second quicker than Nathan. So those guys are really right on the edge of the pace around here in this temp, I think. And I think more than anything, Todd, it's about the temperature on track. You can see there Nathan Birdie just trying to get the car to flick in, and he didn't want to do it, so took the straight route there.
Tim Harrison's off as well. Got 2 locked on cars off the track.
Oh, guys, we've brought Pete from Race Control in, so he's getting ready to give the drivers their review. Pete, so take it away.
Thanks, guys. Hey, g'day drivers tonight, and welcome to the wonderful Road Atlanta. It's a beautiful course for everybody to drive a car around. 50 laps tonight for you radicals in the radical. Tyres, as always, are your choice. And fuel, you don't have to put any in, but my advice is you probably need a pit stop. Safety car tonight will be manual. If it needs to come out and if you request a ton, it needs to come out, it'll be safety car, safety car, safety car. We'll bring it out, it'll do 2 laps. If you are the leader and you need to restart, your restart will be between the bridge and the start-finish line. As always, at the end of the race, the podium is welcome to do their cool-down lap, come back onto the start-finish straight and celebrate in the usual fashion. All the other cars are requested to, fuel permitting, get around the track, come back into the pits in a nice, clean manner. Have a really clean race, dudes, and hopefully that's all you hear from me. If not, you know that if you don't agree with it, you can put a protest up at the end. Have a good night.
Thanks very much for that, Pete. So I think the crucial bit I got out of that, buddy, is that the restart must happen after the bridge. We had a bit of an incident last week in the F3s where the lead went a bit early.
Yeah, I wouldn't call a jump start an incident. I think, one of the guys got a little bit excited and took off. Look, we deal with that in accordance with the procedures we have to deal with. We make no judgment other than the ones we need to.
That sounds great, buddy. Well, we'll let you go, mate, and good luck with all of tonight, and hopefully they don't keep you too busy out there, buddy.
We'll see how it goes. Have a good call, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
All right, so we have come to the end of qualifying now, guys. So the last cars, have we got any cars out on track? Looks like we've still got a couple there.
Tyson, Steve, and Steven.
Still trying to finish their lap. So we'll give them last chance. Perhaps I saw that Tyson McAvoy did jump up into P5 with a 16-1 there. So that was a good effort from him. But we'll have to see if any of these boys are still out on track by the looks of it. don't think they are. So we can bring qualifying to an end, and if Shibi can bring up the results, we got 10 seconds to wait.
And Tyson
I'm being,
McAvoy, I've just
yeah,
noticed he only pipped Nathan Verney by 2,000th of a second. That's crazy. That is
that's pretty
craziness.
close.
Oh,
So here we have, so in pole position, Scott Callahan has had some great racing so far this season. Bit unfortunate what happened to him last week, but he's back with a vengeance on pole. Matty Jones with Performance Sim Racing in P2. Great to see the two of them up front, and they'll be battling hard. I'm looking forward to it. Steve Brown with a great qualifying result, just under 4/10 back from Scott Callahan. David Unger in P4, well, Mr. Consistent, is right up there again. Let's just hope he gets the no wheel spin and the car goes straight this time off the line. Tyson McAvoy, the other performance sim racing machine, in P5. Nathan Verney, Locked On Racing. He's had a pretty good season so far, and it's good to see him right in amongst the thick of it again. Tim Harris, his teammate with Locked On Lads, is in 7th. Dean Sinkovich with Team SRW in 8th. Greg Johnson for Team Greg in 9th. And Steven Sinkovich, the other SRW car, in P10. Leon Williams with Locked On Black Sheep Racing in P11, and our safety car right at the back. So it's going to be awesome, Toddy.
it's going to be so much fun, man.
Scotty Rankin apparently has snuck in to have a race, has he? We'll have to see. He's jumped. He's on car. He's on track.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's a little bit cheeky.
Team SRW, let's go. Yeah, come on.
The mountain, he's in
He's
Mountain
got
Dew
Mountain
livery
Dew,
there.
but he is Team SRW,
Alright.
so
So
here we
we
go.
might have to talk about the gate crasher and see what happens there. But the cars are getting ready. Looks like we've got all of them on the grid, getting ready for round 6. We are over the hill with 5 rounds remaining of the V8 Radical American Invasion Series here at SRW TV. This is round 6. We've got Scotty Callahan and Matty Jones, P1 and 2 up front, and they are ready to go. The lights are on. Here they go. 5 lights. When they go out, we are green. And, oh, is that David? No, that's Steve Brown slow off the line there.
Almost got tangled up there, but nothing.
Matty Jones. Scott got a great start, but then Scott Callahan was able to go inside, block him and retain the line. You can see these two boys wheel and wheel already as they go down through the S's. Looks like the rest of the field has come through cleanly there. So, clean start. Steve Brown, 2 positions. That cost him that bit of wheel spin there, Toddy.
Yeah, it definitely did, but it was nice that it wasn't a banked start. Banked start for once this week. So it was nice to see. He's just
Well, it's Dave Unger. So it wasn't Scotty Callahan. I got that call wrong. It was Dave Unger that had a great start, and he's managed to jump ahead of Matty Jones into P2. So that's a great start.
Absolutely great start, and I think Matty Jones was a bit looking behind him that he's seen Steve Brown right behind him.
Dave Unger. I saw the blue car dart through on the inside, and I thought I got it wrong. Yeah, it was Dave Unger. I can see Matty now trying to have a look at the inside down into the chicane.
Oh, the pressure on using that draft to his advantage.
Oh,
You definitely want to use that draft up the hill as well.
We've had a big moment at the back. Apparently Dean Sinkovich has gone into the wall. Matty Jones is having a look at the inside of Dave Unger there. Oh, he's run wide there. Is that going to give Matty the spot back? He has. Oh, Dave's coming wide again, and that's going to... Oh, no! He's gone across the track as he contacted Tyson McAvoy. I think we've had contact there. Steve Brown has been the beneficiary of that and got back into it. Meanwhile, Scotty Callahan has jumped to a 1.5 second lead. And Tyson, that car looks a bit wounded.
He's limping back to the pits, but look at that.
Oh, yeah, he's struggling with steering there. So that was a massive contact there, just in the side of our view. Well, it doesn't look like...
It's all in front splitter, hey. As soon as you get a big...
We've had some comments, I think, on the radio, but I don't think that race control has called anything out as yet. So we'll have to keep an eye on things. So we're here. So Dave Unger making a move on Leon Williams there. So Leon, he was a big beneficiary of that too, up 5 positions. So he had a great start as well.
He has,
Oh,
actually. He's just been patient. He's had a couple of really patient rounds the last couple of rounds, so he's done well. Hopefully he can hold his spot.
I think, you know, we can maybe have a look at that start now and a couple of those incidences. We've been able to sort of settle the breathing depth down a bit.
Yeah.
It was a bit crazy there for a moment.
That was crazy. Thank you very much, the GSL Welding Services.
GSL Welding Service, yeah. Sorry, Toddy,
No, all good.
we both thought of it at the same time, buddy. So great minds think alike.
Exactly.
So here we are. So yeah, so it was Steve Brown that just bogged down on the line, maybe missed the start completely. And you can see, look, that's David Unger getting a great line and getting up on the inside of Matty Jones as well. Leon Williams going around the outside. Oh, that was Nathan Burney trying to go around the outside, and then he got caught on the outside and let Leon back through. Yeah. So. All right, so something's happened to Leon now, is it as well? Oh, Nathan Burney. Oh no, he's caught that. Probably avoided massive damage, but that's cost him a lot of spots. Back to the bottom of the trail there. Now we're going to have a look and see what happened to Dean Sinkovich. David Unger is being involved. So it was a double spin.
Rankin and Steve going off at the same time.
That was almost a synchronized spin there from the two of them.
Yeah, awful.
That car's looking hurt too now. Look at that.
Yeah, that's very banged up. Oh.
All right, so another incident. This is what happened to Dean before then, or this is up since? Oh.
Wow, I can't believe we haven't seen a safety car yet.
Oh, that was also, I think it was Leon Williams going wide there across the grass. So that's after Dean's got that car fixed and come back out. And he's had another moment. So that's cold tyres. That's what that is. All right. Greg Johnson has had a moment, so we're just going to go through a few of these guys. It's been quite a bit of action that we saw. And, it's a good save. I thought he...
Oh, no, quite. He almost had it, didn't he? Then. Oh, he just avoided. Just avoided.
All right, so now we're going to have a look at the incident between Dave Unger and Tyson McAvoy, I think. So it was Dave's gone wide. We have a safety car call now, so something else has happened as well. But Dave's gone wide here. He's had to brake behind Steve. He's come back out, and, yeah, it'll be whether or not race control recalls that a rejoin, because technically he did go off the track. So it is being investigated. We'll see what race control's got to say. But we have a safety car now as well. So
thank you very much to the promo department and race control.
Yep. Dave Unger has been given a black flag, a drive-through penalty. For an unsafe rejoin. So I thought race control might call it along those lines. Yeah, that's what happened to me on Sunday. So. Tyson's been in, got that car fixed. So I think the safety car maybe has been brought out to just bunch the field back up, because that was a pretty big incident. There were several things going on. Got a bit chaotic for us even in the broadcast room here, Toddy and Shivy.
Yeah.
There was replay after replay, trying to work out what was going on.
Yeah, only one lap in as well as first lap. So, and now I've just noticed we're back to our qualifying starters as well, qualifying podium. It's back to Scotty Callahan, Matty Jones, and then Steve Brown. So, but Steve Brown does have a bit of banged up on the back. It looks like he's got a bit of banged up on the back of his car there, but the front splitter looks fine, so he should be good.
Oh my God, is that Leon Williams with a bit of a damaged wing back there, or is that Nathan Verney? Might be Nathan Verney, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've seen Nathan's car broken a few times.
It hasn't seemed to slow him down much, has it?
Well, I'm surprised. Well, we've seen it before, yeah. I've driven with a broken wing and not realised it, so I think that's what it seems to be. You don't notice it that much, so therefore you don't feel the car's lost any pace. There's definitely a bit of damage in that left rear there, so
just
he's been testing it out again.
We just had our Dano jump on to watching our Facebook stream, so g'day Dano, much love, brother.
It's awesome. Yep, if you're out there. So that was Scotty saying wait, can I join this series? Getting the rig in position. So we missed all that before, Scotty. It was an awesome start from Dave there, John. What you think about that, the rejoin there and the penalty? I think Dave just went a bit hot into one and get yourself caught on the outside there, and it's hard to pull the car up.
Yeah, I think it all just happened really quick, and I think he thought he had a bit more brakes than he actually did, to be honest.
Oh, and a few guys coming in just to get maybe some repairs to their car, or maybe just topping up fuel.
Using
but
it to their
I don't know if
advantage
any of these
maybe.
guys will actually make the distance. I know Tyson is a big fan of just topping up the tank under safety cars.
Yeah.
And
Well, you may as well,
already,
but it depends how much you can actually put in there, right?
Well, he was already well down in positions, so just that extra lap can sometimes make a difference, you know. So
Very true.
Wasn't really losing the position anyway.
And Tim Harris has had a great race so far. He's had an absolute P4. He's up 3 spots. Absolutely.
Made out of the carnage,
Awesome,
and he's put himself right in contentions. That's great to see.
Yeah, maybe that new livery's paying off for him now. It's looking good, mate.
And Steve Brown, back as good as a holiday, buddy.
Exactly right, mate. You know, and that's the thing is sometimes if you look good, you are good. Sometimes if you look better, sometimes you are better.
So bad judgment, you think, John? Maybe you should have been spotting for him, buddy. Hey, get the Discord channel. You could have spotted for him, told him all about that one. But that's all right, mate. Yeah, look, these things happen. I made my fair share this season, but hopefully the boys I'm racing with don't hold it against me. I'm just trying hard to compete with them. All right, so safety car is now going to pull away from the field and hand control over to Scotty Callahan. So we are on lap 6. It has been wall-to-wall action so far, wall-to-wall with cars bouncing off walls. But we're now getting ready to go green again, and it looks like all the field are back on the back of this fight. So remember, you can't go until after the bridge. The moment he goes under there, and looks like he is going straight away.
Oh, he's trying to go up
for any more than he needed to. I think Matty read that, knew it was on. We'll have to see if Steve Brown might have got caught a little bit napping there. Though under the toe, he's come back in.
And Matty Jones is right hard on his heels.
Yeah, I think most of the boys there got it well. Looks like Tyson might have got caught out a bit there. No, he hasn't.
So Matty Jones has got much better exits out of these corners by the look of these. Might have kept his tyres a bit warmer under these safety car conditions.
This has been the battle we've been hungering for, these two having a red hot go at each other out on track. We've sort of had incidents get in the road, or a car managed to get in between that battle. You can see Leon Williams just getting passed by Tyson McAvoy there. That was a good move up the inside. Oh, Dave Ungers did a great move of two cars by the looks of it. Oh, look, we've got Matty Jones going inside. Looks like Scott's going to get out of that. All right, so this is going to be the battle. I think it's going to be the battle of the draft. We'll have to see now, can Matty's out front? Can he gap and get far enough ahead that he breaks the draft? I get the feeling that this battle might continue for a while, Toddy.
Oh, I think it might. I think we might get a bit hopeful and might get out to that maybe 1 second mark, but it'll pull it back very, very quickly. It just comes down to, a little bit more cojones into a couple more braking points, and he's right back on the back of him already. So it will definitely be a battle that will be going on for quite a while. And Scotty's
there is Nathan Burney. Is Nathan at a lap down? No, he's just let both of those boys through. So I don't know what happened to Nathan there. He got well out of it then. Oh no, was that Greg Johnson? I think I might have been letting the guys through. Okay.
Nathan Burney's been overtaken by Dave Unger, Dean Sigovich, and Tyson McAvoy, so he might have that damage on that wing might be a bit more than we thought it was, mate, to be honest.
Possibly, yeah, possibly, buddy. Then he might rue the opportunity of not pitting under the safety car to fix that car. Oh, Tyson McAvoy all over the back of Dean Sinkovich here. Dean just covering inside. Can Tyson sweep around the outside, stay side by side? So if he does, he's got the line coming out. Looks like he's going to get that done though. Dean staying around on the outside. There is pace here. You can take multiple lines through here, but looks like Tyson has got it done. Can Dean switch back underneath going into T1? He looks like he's going to give it a go.
Oh, beautiful drive from both of these drivers.
Excellent.
Trying to stick it on the
deep
back
there and held that line, and yeah, awesome driving from both of them, as you said, buddy.
Yeah, just for very respectful, but they both kept the pace, and Mr. Sinkovich, Dean just sat on the back of him and he's going to try and use this draft to his advantage as well and try and build up a gap behind him. But it doesn't look like Nathan Fernie's going to get off his
he's got back on. I think Nathan made a mistake there that previous lap. Oh, Scotty Rankin there, right in the middle of a sandwich with Stephen. Was that Stephen Sinkovich and Leon Williams? So that, and looks like Scotty's going around the outside. He's put it on the grass, stopping the distance. I can see that as we focus on. Is this Nathan Burney trying to make a move on Dean Sinkovich now? Again, Dean covering the inside. But Nathan's got a nice slingshot from that toe. I think this time, this time Nathan couldn't stay up alongside like Tyson managed to. So
that may be too much wing damage, possibly.
It could be, buddy. Yeah, I mean,
knowing it's only 10 laps in, we've got 50 laps, 40 more laps to go. I'm sure everyone's being definitely very patient.
All right, now we had a move that Dave Unger made a couple of passes there you referred to a couple of laps ago, Shibby. Let's have a look at that. Thanks to DSL Welding Services and the Promo Department, our major sponsors. Okay, so here we go. This is where Dave's gone up the inside. Okay, that almost looks like he's been let through there, I think. And yeah, so that was Leon Williams, and I think that was Tyson taking advantage of that behind there. And then Dave's pushed through, and he's got chasing right on the back of Dean here. So Dean's got a little bit of a shibby in there behind Nathan, and that's what's happened. Okay, and gave Dave that position. So there we go. Awesome pictures, Shibby.
And big shout out on Facebook. We've just got our first 50 stars. Thank you very much, Nathan Howard. Shibby, what a legend. So we got our first stars on our Facebook stream, guys. So big shout out to everybody. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Nathan Howard. You absolute legend.
Right, and John C on the YouTube chat. You're a flaggy, not a spotty. Not a spotter, okay. Oh, it's a flaggy, not a spotty. Yeah, no. Spotter. That's fair enough, buddy. So you reckon you'd follow and safety? Well, the safety car has given Dave a chance, though I'm surprised. He must have served that penalty before the safety car. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting what
normally you've got to serve it after it. I can't see Dave having served the penalty and coming back. Timothy Harris gets sideways there on the exit, and that's given Dave P4. So we might just stay tuned to see if Race Control's got anything to say about that.
Yeah, because we haven't seen him serve his penalty, have we?
I didn't think so, unless it was called out when the safety car was still out there. So
yeah,
have to keep an eye out. It's possible that he's going to serve it right now, and that's it. But no, he's still going.
So how many pit times we got?
Oh well. Keep an eye out on what's going on there. At the moment, Matty Jones has got through on Scotty Callahan. So what did we miss there?
Oh no, Matty's just been able to push out this lead a bit, but Scotty Callahan is.
Matty's jumped Scotty, so we've missed a move there on track, have we?
No. We still. Yeah.
It looks like Shibby's on it. Shibby's on it, so we can see. Okay, so Matty's got a great run going down. Yeah, no, we did see this move. I did say that, yeah. That was earlier. But no, it was a good move, and it's just the benefit of the toe and positioning the car, being able to go a little bit deeper, having the confidence to pull it up under brakes.
Yeah, you'd definitely be forgiven for it, mate, because they're basically exactly the same distance behind each other as they were before, so it kind of looked like deja vu, didn't it? Scotty
You're
Brown
right.
still trying to stay on the back of these guys, but he's still. I think he's fighting a bit of a losing battle here because these boys are, you know, a couple of tenths quicker on average per lap. So, and we've just had Scotty Callahan do the fastest lap of the race with the 1:15.27. 8, which is pretty insanely quick. So,
Maddie's fastest time is a 1:15.29, so there's only 100 separating them in their fastest lap battle as well. So, but you can see here he's got the gap out to 0.9, but I reckon that the toe, you're not going to break the toe until you're like 1.6 in front, really.
yeah, on this track, I think as well, especially with these cars we saw last week, it's a lot more than that. 6 to 8 tenths of a second.
That's right. We can just see cars, you know, on this back straight. So we'll watch it here. He's at 1.2 at the moment, and that looks like Steve Brown getting right in on the action there as well. So perhaps Scotty's hurt his tyres.
True.
But we'll have to see if this draft does come into play. It's at 1.1 now, 1 second. We'll see it come inside that. So, yeah, 0.9. So he's still in the toe.
Yeah, quite convincingly. Maybe he's just giving him a bit of space, just being patient on this 13th lap. He's got a lot of laps to go. So
I think, you know, one of the things that separates the really good drivers from the good drivers, so the really good versus the good, are the ones that also know about their tyre management. You know, when you push hard for a couple of laps, you then realise you've got to back off for a couple. Just let the tyres get back to their operating window again because you pushed them a little hard. And I think it's the subtle things like that that really make the difference.
Yeah, most definitely. All those, those subtle things like that. But then also, you know, after an incident or a slight incident, you know, that tendency to overdrive the car as well can make you do the same thing, ruin your tyres a bit more, and then you end up saving a bit more, etc., etc., etc. So
yeah, that's right. It compounds. I think you're right. You know, you make a mistake and then you push hard to make up for that mistake, and then pushing hard, you damage the tyres again a bit more, and then it makes the car harder, and then you start falling back because you're slower because you've chewed up your tyres. Now we've seen that these things don't tend to eat tyres for breakfast, but 50 laps around Road Atlanta without a tyre change, that's going to test them.
Oh, most definitely. On this roller coaster, mate, that's insane. You know, just all the change in direction and the very, very hard braking sections and then really, really difficult kind of, you know, snap, almost snap corners sometimes.
John just asking about track limits. There are, buddy, but I think it's 25 incidents before you get a penalty. Obviously, race control reserves the right to sort of penalise you if you're constantly taking advantage of cheeky off tracks. But I think it's more the boys pushing hard. I mean, we've seen this is a place you don't really want to be taking a lot of curb, so there will definitely be places where you'll be tight. And Scotty Rankin here put the pressure on Steven Sinkovic, going down into T1. And again, it's all about trying to stay tight. Scotty's gone wide there, but he's managed to maintain grip.
I don't think he wants to hit his team boss either, right?
I heard Scotty had a pretty good call last night in the truck series. Steven Sinkovic has lost it, and somehow Scott has been able to do the cold trickle moment and just drive straight through it.
Out of that, wasn't he, Gary? Wow.
All right, so this is a three-way battle for the podium at the moment. Look at this. So Steve Brown is not necessarily a surprise package, but he's keeping up with the front runners at the moment. He's giving himself every chance to stay right in this battle.
Yeah, it's interesting. The last 2 laps, Scotty Rankin still, Scotty Callahan, he's down the last 2 laps. He's down about 3 tenths to what he's kind of averaging with lapping. So it's interesting whether, as you said, there has been a drop in bit of pace there. He does have a bit of a ding on the side there. So
Matty did a 15, I think, last lap versus Scott's 15.4 and Steve's 15.5.
2 previous laps have done a 15.7, 15.8. So,
but you can see now that these 3 guys are in the 15s. Dave Unger, who we know has been in the 15s as well, but because he's back off this battle, almost 8 seconds behind, without that draft, that is making that half a second difference, I would think.
Yeah, most definitely. Unlike Desert Island by yourself at that point, Dave Unger, he's got another 2 seconds to anyone behind him as well.
Well, we look at this again. Scott's closing back up. So is Steve. So punching the hole in the air is probably costing Matty 3 or 4 tenths a lap on the guys behind in the draft.
And fuel, etc., etc. as well. And, Scotty Callahan's being very smart here. I would be doing what Scotty Callahan's doing right now. At the start of this race, I'd be sitting behind Matty Jones as much as I can, try and save as much as I can. My pit stop's going to be a lot quicker, a lot easier, and just keep on pushing on at the end of that race. We know Scotty's got the pace at the end of the race.
Well, you know, this battle has threatened for the last sort of 4 or 5 rounds, really,
hasn't it? Yeah.
You know, and this is the first time that we sort of really had been able to see it for a prolonged time on track, and just see how these guys are going to race with each other, because we both know that they're fast, and I'm sure both of them are all thinking about what position they would rather be in, you know, as this race dies down. And Scotty got out in front and got clear of everything. Matty had to deal with Dave Unger, who had a great start and managed to get into P2 there off the start line. And now Matty's taken his chance, got through, trying to break away, and we're seeing Scotty just making sure he stays on the back, and he's bringing Steve Brown with him.
I was just and Scotty Callahan on that one as well. He's just done the fastest lap of the race with that. Oh, sorry, he's done that fastest lap. But he's getting very close to it. Very close to it again is what I'm trying to say. 15-4, etc. So we'll see how fast he is this lap again.
Well, that was.
He's only won one. That was crazy. 100th.
15 flat from Matty Jones. So yeah, how crazy is that?
That is crazy.
They're starting to find their feet, these guys, and Steve has just got to be careful he doesn't get dropped here. We'll just have a look back at Nathan Burney trying to make his way back through the field in P8 at the moment, with Dean Sinkovich in front of him here, closing on hard and driving like there's no ding in that wing.
Yeah,
I can relate with that.
At the back of it.
That's it.
It might put him off if he knew it was that bent, but I'm sure he doesn't seem to have lost any pace whatsoever. And as you said, you know, as we've seen you race this thing, that's exactly how your wing looked as well, and you didn't say it even bothered you. So it's very interesting to see. But I think it's if you have, it seems to be the front splitter. The more damage you get on the front splitter, that's when it's really.
Oh, look, I'm sure the rear wing back damage is affecting him too. But it sort of affects the car in a way that you don't really realise it. So, you know, I didn't feel the car light on braking, or wanting to step out of me in a corner or anything like that. It was, that's why when you guys asked me about it, I didn't even realise I damaged the wing.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's right. In the post chat. Oh no, I didn't even realise I'd done it.
McAvoy just has fallen off the back a little, so 9 seconds back from Timothy Harris in P5 at the moment, and he's now got Dean and Nathan to deal with, because both of those guys will now be in his tow. And we've seen what happens when you get sort of 3 cars together on track, buddy.
Yeah, most definitely. And I thought these guys would actually start to space out a bit more than they have, but no, they've got these little battle packs still going.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I think it's the draft, buddy. If you've got 2 or 3 cars together, that draft keeps them together. If you get to break that sort of 1.5 seconds, I suppose you need. Once you get outside that 1.6, then you've broken the toe, and you can, it's now just pure pace. And if you're a little bit quicker, you can continue to break away, and that's what we're seeing with Timothy. He's 7 seconds ahead of this battle, and he's in his own world at the moment, running 11 seconds behind Steve Brown in P3. And Steve has dropped off the back of Scott and Matty by the looks of it, so I don't know if he's had a little bit of a moment, or
is he fuel saving?
Yeah, look, his lap times are back into the 16s now. So that's that half a second, and that's what we tend to see once the tow is going. We can see that Matty Jones and Scott Callahan are doing 15.7s and 15.6s, so they're settling in as well in just a rhythm. And see there, he's just lost a bit of ground to him, Steve. So 2.5, so he has caught up a little bit back on that last lap. So perhaps just had a little bit of a moment, because I think Steve has shown he's got some good pace in this V8 Radical machine, or 2600 cc's of it.
Is that Leon Williams?
650
Has just had a bit
kilos,
of a moment at the back of the pack there? Or is that my imagination?
Oh, we'll have a look. Thanks to DSL Welding Services once again. What's happened to Leon? He was having a pretty good run, running in P10. Is he just taking a little bit too much curb? It's that snap
it's the same
oversteer.
spot,
Oh, that's going to hurt.
That's the same spot we saw Dave Unger do the same thing, but he
I
caught
will
it.
see what his steering is like,
Yeah.
because that front of that car doesn't look very nice.
Yeah.
No.
No, as soon as you
be-
see a bend in the splitter on these things, it's pretty bad news.
We'll just have a look and... Oh,
Matty Jones getting hunted
and
by
Scott
Scotty now.
Callahan. Yep, back on it. These boys pushing hard.
Oh, so Scotty, so okay. I wonder what's happening there.
Well, I
So
think,
it's
Scotty's
those two out
just... Look, I think these two guys are probably experienced enough that they might be sort of, taking some time, a couple of laps behind each other, have a look where your opponent breaks, where you can maybe go a bit deeper, where he runs a bit wide, where you might be able to force him into a little error.
Yeah, I like the way you're thinking. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Try and find his cracks and stuff, and then those last kind of laps when you've got enough, tyres left, etc. Then when you can do the push, then that's going to be pretty cool.
I think so. It could also be that he just maybe overworked his tyres there for a lap or two. He just needed to give him, a couple of laps where they're not getting murdered. They're only getting tortured, not murdered. And that gives him enough to give him life to get back in it. But now, well and truly, inside the gap. And Matty Jones has gone into the pits by the looks of it.
And with Tim Harris, mate, he's just done a faster lap than Dave Unger.
Matty has decided to pit, maybe feeling that Scott was riding his tail a bit too much. We'll have to keep an eye on that, because I can't see Scott Callahan waiting too much longer before he replies. It is a bit early, the pit stop, but again, to see if they decide to take tyres or not, these guys.
Tell you what, Tim Harris is doing some impressive laps. A couple of laps ago, he's done his fastest lap, which is actually faster than Dave Unger's fastest lap. So that's impressive from Tim. So it'll be interesting to see how much of a push he can make in this last little bit with once he's made his pit stop, etc.
Is that Dave Unger that has managed to pass Tim there?
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. So he's been ahead of Tim there for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, no. Tim was ahead of because he was running in P4 there behind Steve Brown. So Dave Unger is on a bit of a charge. 16 flat last lap.
And with Matty Jones going into the pits, it's pushed him up as well, up in fourth place.
So we'll keep an eye on, see if Scott Callahan decides to stay out and what sort of lap times. He did a 15.4 last lap, and Matty Jones was a 120, but again, that would be relative to pit position and the pit stop there. So we'll keep an eye on Matty Jones's next lap, and we'll see if Scott decides to go in to answer
But we
that
have
pit
seen
stop.
in the past, Scotty likes to pit really late, so we never know.
Has been a pretty good runner in clean air.
Yeah, he has been. I'd love to see his fuel level, see what he's kind of looking at.
Okay, well, he's staying out. So there we go. Off the seat. So definitely we've had a couple of guys take advantage of an early pit stop. We'll have to see if that equates to an undercut.
He doesn't seem to be clutching it or saving anything at the moment as well. He seems to be hard out on the throttle also.
He's definitely driving it hard. You can see he could use a bit of that curb there at the top of the S's. You say, again, when he's on the curbs, it's the smooth entry.
Yeah, and it's a straight line on the curb as well. Don't do any turning while you're on it.
His purple, pink, camo wash me paint. Or is that, who's that running? Is that Leon Williams just letting Steve and Greg Johnson through there? These boys all a lap down. Scotty Rankin, Steve Sinkovich and Leon Williams are a lap down at the moment, so that's unfortunate.
And it's
for those
unfortunate for
guys.
Leon Williams. He was having a great race there for a little
He
while.
was having a pretty good run there, Leon,
Hmm.
so just had to pit. He's just done his pit stop as well, so he may not be out of it yet because he has done his pit stop.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll push on back up through the lot. But he seems to be
Now-
having a bit of trouble out there.
On board with Dean Sinkovich as Nathan Burney was looking to have a little peek up the outside there. He's just folding behind now, looking to try and get a good run coming up over the hill. But you can see that there's no lift. Hear the acceleration of the car. In the supercar, you've got to lift and massage the throttle as you climb over the top. I think in this car, like the F3, that'd be one of those spots where, you know, you'd end up with your stomach in your throat every lap as you come flying down the hill.
And especially if you're more used to driving it in the V8s, you'd probably find your muscle memory, you'd be inclined to lift off there, and it'd be quite hard to just, in these cars, change your kind of psyche a little bit and go, just hold it down, man, you know.
I think when you get in these things and you start getting used to driving them and that, it becomes full send. And that's why we do see those moments where the guys lose the rear. Because, you know, they're just a grippy thing and you can't help but full send it.
Yeah, exactly right. And then sometimes too much of a full send.
It does happen. We're all prone to it.
Oh, 100%. And, you know,
Scott Callahan did a 15.8 as opposed to Matty Jones 16.2. So Matty's still getting up the pace. So I'm just wondering if Matty took tyres. It's going to be one of those questions we'll ask the guys again.
Yeah.
So all a little bit loose there from
Nathan Verney trying to
he
save
just
it.
got a little bit loose and a bit of gravel. Had to come out of it a little bit, but looks like Nathan, my eyes going into the pits. That's why Nathan has disappeared from that shot.
So I'm sure Nathan Verney will be getting his
Unger
fast
has
track there.
completed his pit stop as well. And David Unger and Nathan Verney have both come out of their pit stop in front of Matty Jones. So there's a big overcut. No, they haven't. Okay, it's fixed itself. They were in the pits. I thought that they'd passed him there for a moment, but the universe has aligned itself, and everything is as it should be. Matty Jones with Performance Sim Racing running in P6 at the moment. Tyson McAvoy has pitted in front of him, but that was for damage, not for fuel. So I'm sure Tyson will need fuel at some point. But remember, he did go in for that splash under the safety car, just give it a bit extra. So just, you know, maybe gives him a little bit more of a window to work with.
Who knows? You know, you might even see him go to the late 30s there.
Well, there
And,
has been no word
know.
from no word on race control about the drive-through penalty for David Unger, so he must have served that.
He must have served it.
Absolutely.
He must have served it immediately.
Before the safety car or under it, or immediately when the safety car came out, he served it straight away, and then was able to fight his way back into it.
Yeah, because he did do quite a long pit time at that point, but my memory was only looked like it was 26 seconds. Which is not long enough for him to serve that.
Well, the drive-through, I don't think the drive-through penalty costs a huge amount of time, but I mean, you're at full throttle and you're going through the pit lane, so I reckon it'd probably be 20 seconds. He is currently 20 seconds off the lead of Matty Jones.
Okay.
But
his pit time was 25.32 seconds was his pit time, and he hasn't actually pitted, so that must have been his drive-through then.
Okay, so Greg Johnson and Dean Sinkovich were getting investigated there by race control, but they deemed that it was a no further action, so called it a racing incident. So we are on board with Scott Callahan now, who is pushing hard, coming up against traffic. Leon Williams, I'm sure Leon will get out of the way, no problem for Scott.
Got to be able to be wanting to build up a gap. Bit of a gap.
Well, the last thing he wants to do is get caught behind a back marker. And that would cost him a little bit of time there, but no fault of Leon. He did exactly all he could do there. he's not under no obligation to slow down and let the fast guy through. He's just, you know, trying to make it as easy as possible, be as predictable as possible, and he did everything he was supposed to.
Scotty is actually pushing it hard. He's definitely pushing hard right now. But look at this, it looks like he's gone up another gear. I didn't think he even had it, so we might see some fastest laps being pumped out here, guys. Even faster fastest laps. You might even see the 115 might get broken here.
They are going close. 15.5 from Scotty Callahan. Matty Jones did a 15.7. So Scotty is pushing hard.
But Matty Jones has got the new fastest lap with a 115.025.
Yeah,
so
that was earlier before Matty pitted. So it'll be interesting. Tyres have not been... Every time we speculate, we think that maybe someone's taken tyres. I think we did have the F3s. We've had a couple of the guys take tyres, but I think so far in the radicals, I don't think anyone's really taken them. So 50 laps around Road Atlanta, is that going to be the limit? We'll have to see. If we start seeing spins near the end of the race, I'm sure we can assume that the guys haven't really taken tyres. And I think it's going to be a test, mate. It's a roller coaster. You put the load on both tyres. Like that sweep over the top there, that's full load on those tyres. Okay, here we go. Scott is coming into the pits.
Lap
So
29.
this will be where it is. So the gap was, is it 28 seconds?
28 seconds. 18 seconds.
18 seconds to Tim Harris. It was 48 seconds to Matty Jones. So...
Oh, Tim Harris has jumped into the pits as well.
Yeah, I didn't think Tim had pitted. So, all right. So it is now going to be, so it's going to be close because Matty Jones was 48 seconds behind. We see Tyson McAvoy coming around. We can't see.
Well, the Sinkovich cars limping into the pits as well.
Is that both of the SRW machines coming in for their pit stop? Yep. All right. So Scott has got going. Here comes Matty Jones. This is going to be close. Let's get out and have a look at it, buddy.
Oh, he's going to get it. Oh, he's definitely...
I think Scott has got it done, I think.
Yes.
All right.
He was pushing so hard.
Well, it ended up being 3 seconds he gained through the pit stop sequence there. So Scott was putting laps down a couple of tenths faster than Matty there for a few laps.
Yeah, we got your teammate Tyson McAvoy in first at the moment.
Yeah, he'd be loving it.
Yeah.
At the moment, we'll have to see how deep Tyson tries to go into this race. But we can see there that you know, about 45 seconds. I think that pit stop all up for Scott Callow. It says 52 was the time, total time.
Yeah. Scotty Brown behind Tim Harris now, which you don't see very often. So Tim Harris
has left Steve Brown in the pit stops as well. Well, Scotty Rankin's wearing a bit of damage there on that car, so he's been in the woods. And it's pretty clear of trees around here at Road Atlanta, although there's quite a few there, the other side of that barrier. Oh, we're going to have a look at Scotty Rankin's crash. Apparently, Shibby's all eager for DSL to show us this one. So let's see what's happened to him. All right.
Oh, that car already looks pretty banged up.
The car was already damaged then, so he's had another big moment since, and he's just tried to flick it in way too high.
Oh, he's had two moments. Shibby's just let us know.
He's got away with that one where he's just driven straight across the grass. That's experience for you, though.
Yeah, it is.
Scotty is a big fan of oval racing in IndyCar and that. Races in one of the high-tier leagues for the IndyCars. Here we go, coming down into the chicane at the bottom of the straight, and he's just run deep again. That seems to be his moment. He's liking the grass there. It's maybe the same colour green as that Mountain Dew livery.
Yeah, true. He does look like Robin Hood, like he's actually come out of the woods.
Awesome. All right, so Shibby thinks he might have found the one. Okay, well, the wing is straight here, buddy, so looks like you found the right one. He's just gone deep and banged into the
Wow, is
wall.
that? Was
That
that
almost
maybe
looks like
equipment failure there by the look of it? That's really
no,
weird.
to me, that seems almost like a tap from the wife on the shoulder. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
what, there's a
true.
corner coming up. Excuse me, darling.
Yeah. Oh, you scared
Uh,
you scared the bejesus out of me. And slapped
yeah,
it all.
so look at that. So Scott Callahan has got it done in the pits. Matty Jones has closed right in, though. He has dropped that gap from 3 seconds to now 1 second. So he would be in the toe. Oh, Scotty getting a bit wild there, coming down through the S's. He's held on to it. He's pushing hard. No, Scotty Rankin in the green beast I was talking about. He got really loose.
Yeah.
But he's chasing hard there, and I think is that Timothy Harris in front of him. But Scotty is a lap down, so he's going to make a move. He's want to make it pretty clean. All right, but back up at the front. I know it's 1.2 seconds. We also got Tim Harris is within a second of Steve Brown as well. So they've got two battles going on up at the front.
Oh, what a drive from Tim Harris tonight. He's been very patient and very, very calm about it. So he deserves whatever place he gets, so I believe.
All right, so we've got this battle here, and another 10 seconds up the road, we've got the battle for effective P1. But both of these guys are close. Now, Tim is within a second, 0.9 from Steve Brown, and Matty Jones is 0.7 from Steve Callahan. From Scott Callahan. So we've got two great battles going on. So have a look at Steve, and look at it here. We've got traffic up ahead as well, but that'll be is that Leon Williams. So Leon will get out of the way of these boys. You can see here the toe is back on, and Matty is closing in. The gap is now 0.6. It's coming down, buddy.
I wonder when Tyson's going to jump in for his pit as well. He hasn't jumped in yet, so maybe he's just trying to build up enough gap and just, once he's done the overcut, see where he kind of comes out in the melee. He's been doing some nice consistent laps out there, so you never know. He might have punched himself a few more spots after this overcut.
He had a big, he's gone into the pits now, Tyson has, so he's just gone in. So get well out of the way, and so this is the battle for P1. We are 34 laps into round 6 of our V8 Radical Series American Invasion. We are traveling east to west across America, the first of the big longer trips for these cars, 500 miles from Daytona to Road Atlanta, and now they've got the big trek across the middle of the continent to go. So thanks again to John McHenry out there for putting together the series and telling a bit of a story as the cars sort of traverse across the American countryside. And so you will see that the tracks that the F3s and the Porsches have been racing will now be Radicals and V8s as the sorry, it's Radicals and the Porsches. Oh, I keep confusing them. But we've had two series going west to east and the other two going east to west. So we'll now sort of start to see some of those familiar tracks from earlier this season, just with different cars trying to tame them.
And such exciting tracks, and it's really awesome actually to see this American Invasion, because there's a lot of tracks that a lot of people not necessarily have ever raced or ever really seen that much of. So which is really great, other than the whole Laguna Secas and etc. But it's just really great to see.
Daytona last week for these Radicals last week, when we were thinking and we were saying, well, I don't know if Daytona is really going to be a track that suits the Radicals. I don't think it's going to be that much action. And what was the race, buddy? It was action.
Yeah, it was just insane, wasn't it? Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
All right, John thinks that Scott took tyres, so you think maybe Matty and Scotty both took tyres? Would be interesting if they both make it on the podium. We will pose those questions, buddy. Thanks again for tuning in, and everyone out there tuning in to SRW TV. As always, we can't do it without our major sponsor, DSL Welding Services. We've also got the promo department on board with our safety car livery for them, and it's awesome to have those boys on board for the racing this season. All right, having a look at Nathan Burney, who has got that car fixed now. So it's all shiny and brand new. Let's hope he can keep it that way.
Yep.
He is about 6 seconds behind Tyson. So Tyson has managed to do his pit stop a couple.
Got himself up a couple of spots back up, didn't he? So that's quite smart from him. It was last minute thinking there. Let's see if he can get it to the end and keep on pushing up past Dave Unger. But there is a good 14-second gap between Dave Unger. 36-second gap, sorry, from between Dave Unger and Tyson McAvoy. So it doesn't really look like that's going to be a goer. And Dave Unger, we know he's got some pace. He's got a lot of practice in his cars. So, but Tim Harris above Dave Unger's also got quite a comfortable buffer there and a bit of a gap to the draft. So he shouldn't have too much to worry about for now. But we know Dave is quick, and he will be punching a few tenths a lap faster than Tim Harris, so it might not take him that long to bridge that gap. What do you reckon?
Oh, well, that was a bit crazy. My Discord decided to go silly. But anyway, we're back. Hopefully you've been calling the action there, Toddy.
Of course, mate. Of course.
Front here.
Yeah, it's been some bit of action here. Who's gonna do this one? Matty Jones is just being very patient here. I think he was doing what Scotty Callahan was doing earlier. He's just judging him, making sure, see where his little his intricacies in his driving might be, and where he might be able to make a move later on in these closing laps of the race.
Well, 13 laps to go, so it is on as we look with Scott Callahan currently running in P1. We have Matty Jones, Performance Sim Racing, in P2. Steve Brown in P3, Tim Harris P4, and Dave Unger P5. So our top five. Tyson McAvoy looks like he might have just let the boys through, has he? Oh no. So Tyson, I think, is still on the lead lap. Nathan Burney and Dean Sinkovich also. So with Greg Johnson, Scott Rankin, Leon Williams, and Steven Sinkovich are all a lap down at the moment.
Greg Johnson seems to have just had a bit of a moment as well at the back of the pack.
Oh
there.
no. Might try and have a look and see what happened to Greg there. Alright, so he's going hot down through the S's as he's just taken a bit too much curb. Couldn't get the car turned, it's just bounced, yep. Yeah, he's just tried to get on the gas and he's gone in hard into the wall.
And that's case in point what you were talking about earlier, hey Cowie, when you were saying you need to stay off the curbs. Curbs around here and these radicals a bit.
Yeah, look, I think that's probably one that you've seen the guys get away with, but you can see just doesn't get off the curb before it ends. And there's a little bump there, and
true.
I think that's what's got him.
Yeah, the range change has gone from not so much grip on the curb to quite a bit of grip on the track, and then, turned him around there.
Matty Jones back in the tow now, so he's starting to put some pressure on Scott Callahan, but we both know both of these guys are pretty good in these cars, and I can't see Scotty getting rattled by seeing a yellow radical in his mirror. No,
I'm sure he won't be too phased about it. He'll be concentrating on his track in front of him and his race, I'm sure.
Right.
Scotty Rankin's just passed Greg Johnson through that bit of a moment as well. So Scotty Rankin's definitely profited from that. But Scotty Rankin's up 4 spots, our wild card tonight from the back.
Yeah, we started on the back of the grid. Unfortunately, finds himself a lap down, so he will need another safety car and a bunch of cars to get caught in front to get that lap back. But having fun, and it's great to see him on board. I know he loves the Indy cars, and he's actually pretty good in the ovals. And we'll have to see what he thinks about the radicals and that. But great to have him with us. The more cars, the merrier out there, guys. And we, as always, we're halfway through our Season 2. There will be Season 3, so stay tuned, and we'll let you know everything that's happening and coming up for SRW TV. And if you want to come and join the mayhem, drop us a line. Go to simracingworld.com.au and you'll follow the links there to all of our fantastic series.
Yeah, and hit that notification bell as well, guys. Ding, ding. Make sure you keep up to date with everything that's going on. We go live 6 days a week, guys. So, every night, 6 days a week. So
there's a lot of curb there from Scott Callahan. He barely caught that car then. That was an ounce from flicking around and sending him up into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
And you can see that Matty Jones closed up a couple of tenths after that, but yeah, that would have been a heart and throat moment, I think, for Scotty.
Yeah, he almost full sent himself, didn't he? And the car just straight off the track. So Scotty doing very, very well. But Matty Jones still holding our fastest lap time at the moment, our best lap time at the moment. So don't discount Matty Jones. Matty Jones down to this last 10 laps. This is when the battle's going to get real intense, I reckon.
Steve Brown has found himself. So Steve lost out a bit there in the pit stops, got caught behind Timothy Harris coming outside that. And then I think David Unger was in the mix of all that as well, but he's now found himself clear, but he was only a few seconds behind Matty and Scotty. He's now 22 seconds back from the leaders, but has a 3-second buffer to Timothy Brown behind him, so I'm sure that Steve's now solely focused on hanging on to P3, barring any major danger up the front.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Tim Harris is doing an impressive job because he's keeping Dave Unger behind him around that 2-second mark, around that 3-second mark, sorry. So he's got a bit of a buffer there to Dave Unger. I thought Dave Unger would have bridged his gap a little bit more, but obviously Tim's putting in a very nice drive tonight. So Dave Unger might not even be possible that he bridges this gap, but who knows? We are coming into our last 9 laps now, so we'll see.
Where the leaders are still doing 15s and Scotty Callahan and Matty Jones trading fast laps. They are both doing last lap a 15.6 from Scott Callahan, a 15.4 from Matty Jones, much the same as we saw before when Scotty was chasing Matty down, just that draft worth a couple of tenths and able to keep the battle nice and close.
Yeah, most definitely. And as soon as Steve Brown dropped off the back of him and then had the bad luck after the pit stop, he's going to sit there with the 3rd position pretty comfortably.
Well, at the moment, he has managed to just take a couple more seconds out of Timothy Harris over the last couple of laps. Tyson McAvoy running in P6, 18 seconds behind David Unger, so I'm sure Tyson probably not enjoying this part of the race. He tends to want to be in the action all the time, and anytime he finds himself 10 or more seconds behind, he's it's getting boring now. Good shout out to Tyson. Good to see him racing in this league, and the paint that he did up for me, and then realised that I was commentating and not racing. So he thought at least I better put the livery to use, and he has.
It's very, very good.
Nathan Burney has managed to keep that car in one piece for a few laps. Still got a nice straight wing. He is 8 seconds behind Tyson McAvoy. So chasing hard. They have both been running fairly similar times last lap, both with 16.6s. So virtually nothing to separate them, maybe 100th. So just maintaining the gap. Going back to Dean Sinkovich. He's a further 5 seconds behind Nathan. Last lap was about half a second behind Nathan. And I think Nathan's just been steadily taking a little bit of time out of him the last couple of laps. So does have Greg Johnston behind him, but Greg is a lap down, so I'm sure Greg won't get involved with that there. Dean Sinkovich actually running P3, I think, in the championship at the moment with his consistency. But again, we've still got all those drop rounds to take into effect.
Yep, that'll all sort itself out by it'll all come out in the wash towards the end of the season.
12 points in front of Nathan Burney, and Scott Callahan is in 5th, Matty Jones in 3rd, Dean's in 4th, sorry. So, oh, here we go. Is this Matty's? Scott's got part. Is Matty going up the inside? Is he going to get? Oh, Scott has stayed around the outside. And oh, look at that. Great sideways battle, but now he's got to run on him on the inside over the top. Onto the grass to avoid contact there. Oh. It wasn't on the room even there. The boys were hot. All right.
Another battle's won, guys.
6 laps to go, and Matty's decided enough's enough. Now is the time to strike.
He's piling on the pressure, isn't he? Absolutely piling on Scotty right now. But Scotty made that thing very, very skillfully wide through those corners.
Well, I think Matty tried to sneak up over the inside there. I think Scott was entitled to run where he did.
Oh, 100%.
And Matty ran out a bit of space. But look at that, he's got a great exit out of the S's. Is he going to get down into the bottom here, into the double right-hander? You sort of treat it like a double apex almost. You accelerate out of the first corner. All right, so onto the straight. Back into the toe, only 0.3 separating him. This is going to be close enough. He's going to have another look down into here, into the chicane at the end of the straight. Right in under the bumper now.
Oh, look at how strong that draft is. Wow. Especially with these guys with a lot less fuel on board.
He's going to sit in behind. So Scotty got a good exit as well, I think. That so it's really going to come down to who gets the best exit out of that double right-hander onto the back straight. But you can see here, he's looking hard, putting the pressure on. Have a little bit of a look on the inside.
Show him the nose a little bit. Try to show him the nose a little bit. Make him, try and force him to make a mistake.
So both of these boys doing a 15.6 last lap. So even though they are battling, it's not affecting their pace.
That's great.
But he was
800 apart.
They got a great exit. Matty was strong there, yeah. Look at that, and he's again back up. So he's really going to concentrate on these 2 corners, stay close, and get the slingshot. Oh, he's run wide there.
Oh, he's looking up on the brakes, trying to avoid the back of him.
And yeah, car just got out of whack. He tried to carry too much speed. We've got 5 laps remaining, but that's given put Matty Jones 4 seconds behind Scotty Callahan. That might be our race tonight, guys.
Oh, curse to the commentator, I think that. Oh, mate. There's a lot of pressure on.
He's just gone a bit of grass there.
Oh,
and
wow.
I think more than anything, he broke hard there to avoid slamming into the back of Scott.
Yeah.
So
that's an evasive maneuver towards the end because of how fast the grass didn't slow him down anywhere near as much.
He got a tyre outside the tarmac onto the grass there, and once he's down there, you can't, because you can actually brake on that curbing. You use it as
but you can't brake on the grass. Yeah,
you can't brake on the grass. That's right.
Yeah.
So,
Oh wow.
right.
That'll be one. Put it in the memory banks. Note for when I'm driving around here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, you can
I'm
see
taking
there,
a few tips at the moment.
A 1:20 for Matty Jones that lap, so that might be the one move that he just pushed a little bit too hard, and that's given Scott the breather. It's at the 5.5 now, and we'll have to see if he can bridge it back, but with no toe, and these boys both showing great pace. You also, the fact that you mentioned before, Toddy, that once you have a little moment to spin like that, you've overheated the tyres, and now for the next 3 or 4 corners, you've got to treat him gingerly to let him get back into that operating window, or you risk spinning out again. So
yeah, and you never want to do that after you're already a bit flustered as well, and it's just so easy to make another mistake really easily and quickly after that. But look at Dave Unger. He's made up this gap of about 4.5, 5 seconds here to Tim Harris. So what I thought that Tim Harris might be able to hold Dave Unger off. Dave Unger obviously was holding back a little bit, and now he's pushing hard in these last 3 laps. So come on.
Dave, the other car that has got into the 15s with a 1:15.76 last lap. Steve Brown just did a 15.77.
Come on. Wow, so Steve's still pushing out really fast laps.
Race control having a look at something, or they've just said that they're having a look at something? I heard race control mentioning something there, but I had a little connection issue, which I think is a first for me. normally everyone else. But I will say, my iRacing didn't drop out at all, so I could see all the action. Just Discord, something went wrong with Discord. Well, that's right, Matty Jones.
Never even noticed.
I think that crash up on SDK will be his spin. So almost panicked there for a moment. Thought Matty had another moment, but he is dropping off the pace now. So looks like perhaps resigned to P2 tonight, as it's now an 8-second gap from Scott Callahan back to Matty Jones, as we're inside the last 2 laps of the race now. But we are on board with David Unger, who's trying to pressure Timothy Harris here. Dave pitting about 4 laps earlier. Whether or not they took tyres or not's another thing.
Oh, he looks quick. He looks really quick. He's definitely saved a bit of fuel. He's pushing as hard as he can right now. Using all
Dave
that
loves
fuel.
these cars. Said he's been driving them for 10 years. Knows them like the back of his hand.
Yep. He gave that one away early, didn't he?
He did.
Then all of a sudden we knew he was one to watch. So
He's just had a couple of moments the last couple of races. The drive-through penalty tonight. He had the unfortunate with wheel spin on the line at the start for Daytona, and because of the banked surface, it just spat the car up to the right into Nathan Verney, like it was last round. So poor old Dave probably could have been leading this championship by a bit more if he hadn't had those couple little moments. And 28 seconds down now, so obviously I think he served that drive-through right as the safety cars come in, so it hasn't cost him all that much. And if that's the case, he's done that pretty smart.
And Dave Unger's actually got the advantage now. He hasn't dropped any rounds, so if he doesn't drop any rounds this whole championship, then he's actually got the pick of a bit better than.
He's coming into pit now.
I think. Oh.
So perhaps he served that penalty. When he pitted, it was serving the drive-through. So he's run out of fuel. That's unfortunate for Dave. That's going to throw him back probably behind Nathan Verney, maybe even Dean Sinkovich, depending on how long he's going to be stopped here in the lane. But we are on the last lap, buddy, so we better go back to the front. Scott Callahan has got a commanding lead now with that unfortunate spin by Matty. And you can see Scotty now running in the 16.5s, Matty in the 17s. So I think, just taking it a little bit easier, making sure of it, not wanting to throw it away. He comes over the hill for the final turn, down onto the straight, and our round 6 winner of the SRW American Invasion is Scott Callahan with a great battle there, and he has come out on top once again. Matty Jones for Performance Sim Racing coming across the line in second position. Matty, I'm sure he'd be a little bit disappointed there. Was in a great battle, had his chance, rolled the docks, and just got a little bit wide. Steve Brown.
Just been called white flag on the last lap.
On the white. Oh,
yeah.
I'm a lap early again. Got to pay attention. Yeah. Was it last week? I did it? Thanks, Shimmy. Just for rubbing it in. Said I did it again last week, so there you go. I am getting excited to try to call it. But, look, I don't think there's going to be any change to the results. We've got a 9-second gap from 1 to 2. We've got a 12-second gap from 2nd to 3rd. We've got a 14-second gap from 3rd to 4th. So unless we have any major incidents, this is the way it's going to be. So Dave Unger and Nathan Verney here. Dave's dropped a couple of spots because he was battling with Timothy Harris. He's got Tyson and Nathan have got through, but he's going to try and get this back on the last lap. Looks like our race winner Scott has come over the line. Yeah, well, you missed it now, Shibby. Can't blame me, he has finished. So our round 6 winner, Scott Callahan, with a great drive and a great battle there with Matty Jones in P2 for Performance Sim Racing. Again, as I said, I think he'd be a little bit disappointed, but he did have a great battle there, so we'll get them both in to have a chat about that. And Steve Brown. Steve showed some great pace tonight and has finished on P3 and got himself up onto that 3rd step of the podium. So that's a great result from Steve tonight.
Yeah, he had an early kind of bit of a stutter, and with the pit stop and everything, but other than that, he's kind of had a pretty solid one, except for the start there. And he's just had to fight back, but he's got it back to his qualifying podium position. So good on him.
Shibby's complaining there's no burnouts, boys. Come on, supposed to celebrate. Scotty may be coming around now. Is he going to flick this car wide? Here we go, here we go. All right, so it's donut time by the looks of it, Shibby, though. He's put it into the wall. Yeah, it is donut time, buddy. All right. All right. Well, we're just watching on the boys coming down into the green room. But there we go. The results up on the screen. Our round 6 winner, Scott Callahan, a 13-second margin back to Matty Jones. The battle was a lot closer than that, guys. Just resolved there at the end, Matty sending it a little bit too hard. Steve Brown, another great drive from him, but P3, and was really battling with Scott and Matty early on in that race too. Tim Harris did well to fight off Dave Ungar, who ran out of fuel and had to pit on the second last lap to get home. And Tyson McAvoy with P5. I'm sure Tyson would be fairly pleased with that result, though he would have liked to have been in the thick of the battle there. Nathan Verney for Locked On Racing, P6, David Ungar in P7, Dean Sinkovich, P8. I know Dean probably would be a little bit disappointed. He could have been a couple of spots higher, if not for a mistake or two. Scotty Rankin in Team SRW as well, jumping on at the last minute and not finishing last, Scotty, inside the top 10, so well done there, buddy. Leon Williams in 10th position. Greg Johnson with a sneeze coming on there. Greg Johnson in P11 and Stephen Sinkovich in P12. Stephen just saying he's been a bit tired, hasn't had a lot of chance to do practice there. So, but good to see that he put the effort in and jumped on the grid. All right, so we're just waiting on the boys to come down to the green room. See if we can find a few of them. Got them all in the open chat.
It's
We do want to try and have a chat to our podium winners. All right, if you want to dribble on for 20 seconds, Toddy, I'll go and see if I can chat to the boys, get them down there.
Yeah, sweet as. Sounds good. Sounds
Awesome,
good, mate. I'm good at that. Yeah, guys, we saw some crazy fast laps tonight, guys. Our fastest lap being a 1 minute 15.0278. It was in the end. So very, very, very fast from those guys. And really impressive to see. That was from Matty Jones with their best lap of the race. And it was very, very close in that qualifying as well. Only about half a second outside of world record pace there in race time world record pace, which was a 1:14.4. And then in qualifying pace, world record was a 14.7. So these guys, were only, even their qualifying pace was only really three tenths off the pace for world record pace, and then race pace was just over 5 tenths. So it's pretty impressive from the guys, to be honest.
What about that Rankin guy from the tail end of the field? Man, he was just ripping that track up tonight. What a driver! Absolute talent.
What I was going to say is when you go into a room and ask for Scotty to come down, the race winner, Scotty, to come down to the green room to join the broadcast, and you get a Scott that says, yeah, I'll join. Here he is. No, mate, you're stuck onto the grid. Bit of fun out there tonight in the Radicals.
Oh, mate, I love these cars. I don't get enough time in them, to be perfectly honest. I jumped in a Fisher race the other day at the Nürburgring, and I drove all 3 laps. That's all you need to know.
Okay, well, I could see that you had a bent wing there a little bit, so we know you were having fun out there, but they can be a bit of a handful, these cars.
They absolutely are, and it's about when they get low fuel. That's the rear end just wants to rotate on them quickly, but look, it takes a far better control of the right foot than I have, and I think I'll let the faster Scotty tell us all about that.
Yeah, so Scott Callahan, congratulations on tonight's win. That was a great battle you're having there with Matty.
Oh, Matty's quicker than me around here, so I thought he had me all day long. I was just waiting for him to overtake me.
Did you just get on the grass on the outside there, Matty, and couldn't pull the car up?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just understeered in the aero, in the aero wash, and yeah, just fed it out a little bit wide. And my choice was either put it sideways to pull it up or use Cala's brakes. So I think I picked the good choice.
Well, you picked the less argumentative option. I will say that.
Yeah, I won't tell you what I would call you, but no.
Oh, we all heard it last week.
Well, it does happen when you're racing, especially quick guys racing together. You got to come together every now and again.
Yeah, emotions do come into it at times, but that's all good. Yeah, no. So I made the big mistake pretty early on. Yeah, I just went hell for leather and. Didn't realise that to one stop it you needed to save about 2 laps of fuel. So I went stupid at the front there, thinking I was setting world record pace and
so
going full 10, and then halfway through I went oh no, and quickly jumped in the box, filled it up, and went on the big save at the end there. So.
I thought you pitted early there, Matty. I was actually wondering about that.
Yeah, I was able to get enough in. I kind of did that as a strategic call because I could tell that you were saving fuel behind me. So once I worked it all out, I tried to just leave you go so you didn't have anyone pull you along and play it that way. But no, it just wasn't to be tonight.
Well, it's actually the first time we've had you boys really racing wheel to wheel. We've had you together in a couple of races now, but there's always been someone else in the mix. So how did it feel racing together?
Oh, it was awesome. I just wish we both had enough fuel to really just go at it without having to think about anything else. So I really look forward to that happening.
Yeah, well, quite honestly, Matty, I wouldn't have fought you too hard, mate. As you know, I wasn't even running a defensive line on you. I knew you were quicker than me around here, so I was just quite happy to sit behind you, actually.
This sounds too congenial, boys. You know, we want battles. We want feistiness out on track. Though we will say that you've both made a couple of moves on each other, and they were awesome to watch. So the draft, it's pretty powerful for these cars. Was it just a matter of keeping yourself within a second of the guy in front?
Yeah, the draft, you get the draft about 2 seconds ahead. You don't get a lot of draft around here, though. You get a little bit down the back straight, but you also lose it through the corners. So I don't know if it's much of an advantage, the draft around here, but what do you think, Matty? I'm not that quick around here, so I don't know.
Oh, from a pace perspective, no, I don't think it's worth a huge amount. Maybe a couple tenths if you're really lucky, but from a fuel saving perspective, I think the draft is key. If you can stay in that. If you can stay close in the draft, probably within 6 or 8 tenths, you can definitely get off the throttle a lot earlier down the back straight and save a lot of fuel that way.
And also make that all important, last-ditch dive into the chicane at the bottom of the hill on the last lap too, if you can.
Yeah, that was the plan, but it wasn't to be.
That's all right, buddy. Well, Scotty, you are our round 6 winner. Have you managed to pick up any sponsors you want to spruik or any mates you want to do a shout out to?
No, it's right. Dave, I mean, as I said, Dave invited me over, told me about the group, so without him I wouldn't be here. But no, it was good racing with Matty, actually. Honestly, I thought he was going to overtake me. I just didn't know where. But yeah, I was actually surprised to win. I thought I'd put it into the wall somewhere, actually. I don't think I've done a race round here without putting it into the wall.
Oh, awesome. Well, it was a great drive tonight, and we're looking forward to more battles. We're getting into the pointy end of the season. Well, sorry, we're over the hill, so it's a downhill stretch. So hopefully more great racing from you boys to come. Matty, P2 for Performance Sim Racing, buddy. Glad to have you on board the team. You've proven your worth, a lot more than I am. So I'll give you a chance to a shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, thanks, Cowie. I just want to have a big shout out to the West End Motor Group, Parramatta, Isuzu Ute, Too Easy Finance, Track Racer, Cowie Music, Night Rider Designs, and the Talk to Me Bro Men's Mental Health Initiative.
Now, I was hoping to try and have a chat with Steve Brown, because he was in the green room, and we didn't grab him. Oh, no. Oh. Has he gone back up to one of the other rooms? Because I completely missed him then. That's the problem. Oh, well. Oh, I can't see him there, so we might try and have a chat to him next week. But yeah, I felt that early on there, he was sort of matching your pace. You guys are all running in the sort of mid-15s, and Steve was right there with you. He was benefiting from the toe behind you there for a while, Scotty, wasn't he? Was it Matty?
Yeah. The double toe is a lot better than the single toe, obviously. So, but then again, once you lose it, they tend to drop off. So one mistake and you lose the toe, and they're gone fairly quickly. But yes, Steve's pretty quick around here too.
And well, we saw sort of Toddy and I both commenting sort of through the race that there seemed to be sort of 2 or 3 different paddle packs where you had 3 or 4 cars involved, and that, you know, the double the car means double the draft. I can understand why. Alrighty, guys. Well, I suppose we can bring things to a conclusion there. Have you got any questions for the boys, Todd, before we let them go?
No. I just wanted to make a comment. There's some pretty fast laps out there tonight, guys. You were only a qualifying pace. You guys are only 3/10 off. Well, within 5/10, the top 3 were within 5/10 of the world record of qualifying pace in the radicals. So you guys should be very proud of yourselves.
Awesome. Alrighty, guys. Well, that will bring an end to our coverage of round 6 of the SRW V8 Radical Series here on Sim Racing World TV. It has been awesome having you with us, so don't forget to subscribe, hit the like and follow button so you don't miss out on any of the action. On behalf of the management and broadcast team here at SRW, Chef Toddy on comms, and our producer Nathan Shibby Howard behind the scenes, this is Cowie signing off, saying good night, and we look forward to seeing you next time on SRW TV.
Much love, legends. Keep safe.